Hello friends, welcome to A Guru channel. So in this video, we are going to see generator rotor earth fault identification and rectification. Already in previous video, nothing but the generator rotor earth fault part 1. So we have seen how to identify first rotor earth fault by using relays. So there are mainly three types. One is potentiometric method, second one is AC injection method, and third one is the DC injection method. And so this one is the hydro generator. So here this is the stator winding, and this one are rotor leads, and these are the rotor poles, nothing but the rotor winding, and the rotor core. So rotor core is grounded in order to suppress the eddy currents which are induced in the rotor core. So here the poles are connected in series, nothing but two poles are interconnected with a joint, so that is nothing but the pole to pole joint. So here pole to pole joints are more prone to earth faults because while in a rotation the large centrifugal forces acts on pole to pole joints, and these rotor leads also nothing but the rotor leads which are used to carry the DC currents are also more prone to earth fault because they are very close to the grounded parts. So now we will see how to identify the rotor earth fault location. Nothing but how to identify where the winding part or rotor leads parts are earthed. By using relays, we can get the enunciation of rotor earth fault, but we cannot get the exact location of the earthing. So that earthing point can be identified very easily by using a single phase variac. So this one is the winding diagram of a salient dipole rotor. For a simplification, I am taking 4-pole generator only, but depending upon the speed, the number of poles or varies from 2 to 30 poles. So here an auto transformer or single phase variac, the phase is connected to one of the slip rings, and another slip ring lead is left open. The another lead nothing but the neutral of auto transformer is connected to ground. If there is any part of the winding is earthed, then the fault current will flows through the ground through the auto transformer. If the winding is not earthed, then there will be no closed path for the auto transformer current, then the current will be zero. I am considering the fault is occurring in between pole 1 and pole 2. So this part of the winding is earthed. Then the current will flow like this. The auto transformer current will flow like this from one of the slip ring lead to the pole 1, and then the earth point. So here the neutral of the auto transformer is earthed, then there is a closed path. The current will flow like this. In this path only pole 1 is included, the other three poles are not included. So here I am considering the each pole impedance is 2 ohms. So for healthy winding, nothing but there is no earth fault, then the readings will be like this. The applied voltage is 40 volts. Then here the current is 0, not 5 amps, pardon me. So here the current is 0 because there is no earth fault, there is no closed path for the auto transformer current. the current is 0 for the healthy winding. In this case, for earth fault winding, the applied voltage is 40 volts and the current flowing is 20 amperes. 20 amperes because only one pole is included. The pole impedance is 2 ohms. Applied voltage is 40 volts. So 40 by 2, 20 amps will flow through the auto transformer. So this voltage 40 volts and 5 amps. So this is the readings when we get the neutral is connected to other end. If the neutral is connected to other end, all 4 poles are included. Nothing but total impedance is 8 ohms. 4 poles are connected in series, 8 ohms. Applied voltage is 40 volts. 40 by 8 we can get 5 amperes. Okay. So the fault location we can also get by DC supply. So for healthy winding, the DC supply can distributed equally. If you are giving the 100 volts, the positive lead with respect to ground shows the 50 volts. The negative slip ring lead with respect to ground shows the 50 volts. So now we will see in case of fault winding, I am considering the same fault between 1 and 2. Then for healthy winding, the voltage will be equally distributed 50 volts and 50 volts. For faulty winding, so here one pole is included. Here there are 3 poles for the other part of the winding. For negative terminal there are 3 poles. Then 75 volts will appear at this point. So will appear at this point. And so for positive terminal there will be 25 volts only because only one pole is included. 25% of the winding is included rather than 25 volts. So here, so this method is not applicable when the fault is occurring exactly at the midpoint of the winding. If the fault is occurring at the midpoint of the winding, then the voltage is also 50 and 50 volts. For healthy winding also the voltage will be on 50 and 50 volts. Then we have to go for the single phase variac method. So here are some of the practical cases of the rotor earth fault. Case 1. So this one is the pole to pole joint. This one is pole 1. This one is pole 2. So here, so this interconnecting joint got connected to this stud. This stud is connected to core. That part is earthed. This one is grounded part. So this pole to pole joint is connected to this bolt. Then we can get rotor earth fault alarm. With the inspection, so here we have found, so this interconnecting joint is connected to earth fault. If you remove this portion, if you isolate it, then the fault can be resetted. We have removed this extra portion of the leads and we made like this. There is no connection between the pole to pole joint and this grounded part. Then the fault is resetted. The case 2 is, so this one is the one of the rotor lead carrying the DC current. So this one is connected to, this one is touched to this grounded part. We faced the rotor earth fault. So here we isolated these two parts and the rotor earth fault is resetted. So like this, so we can identify the exact fault location by using single phase variac or DC supply, and then by separating that grounded portion we can reset the first rotor at the fault. Thereby we can protect the alternator. Thank you having your time.